Hi there, this is Ranjit. I'm happy to welcome all to yet another video presentation on topic shear force and bending moment diagram. In previous video we have saw a problem. Again I have come up with a different problem. Let us see how this problem is solved. I have taken again same simple supported beam. So let us begin. So this is a problem. They've asked us to draw shear force and bending moment diagram for the following beam condition. We are supposed to find out the location of the maximum bending moment and also find the magnitude of the bending moment. So the beam given here is a simply supported beam. Yes, it is a simply supported beam which is having a length of total span of 12 meters, and we have a UDL of magnitude 8 kilonewton per meter, that is runs for a distance of 6 meter, and it is starting at a distance of 2 meter from the left end, left support, and it is ending at 8 meters from the left support, right? And we are also having a point load of magnitude 36 kilonewton, that is acting at a distance of 2 meter from the right support. So this is a problem given and we are supposed to solve it, right? Okay, we'll move the step by step procedure, right? Let us name all the points. Let this be A and this be B, C, and this point is D, and this point is E. Okay, now the support reactions RA and RB, this is the first step to find out the support reaction RA and RB. So beginning itself I have given the entire solution so that I can follow it up step by step, taking you step by step. That will be easy for you, right? Okay, we are supposed to find out the support reaction RA and RB. It is already, the value is 34 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton. We are supposed to know how this value came. How this value 34 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton was determined. So by the side we have the procedure to solve, right? So we know the equilibrium condition, three equilibrium condition, that is summation of all vertical forces and summation of all horizontal forces, that should be equal to 0, and summation of all vertical forces should be equal to 0, summation of all horizontal forces is equal to 0, and summation of the momentum is equal to 0, right? So taking the condition, we don't have any horizontal forces here, we have only the vertical force, right? We have only vertical force. Two support reaction forces RA and RB, and two loads. One is a point load, another one is UDL, right? Okay, now applying the condition of equilibrium, summation of vertical forces is equal to 0. From that we got RA plus RB, that is upward force, summation of upward force is equal to summation of downward force. So this UDL we are supposed to convert it into a point load. So converting into a point load, how we are supposed to do? That is total length, that is magnitude into length. We have a magnitude of 8 kilonewton per meter. It is per meter, 8 kilonewton per meter. Then what will be for 6 meters? So we are supposed to multiply it, right? So 8 kilonewton per meter into 6, that will give you the point load. That will act at the center. That will act at the center of this particular distance 6 meter. Okay, so 8 kilonewton per meter into 6 meter plus this point load 36. So 8 into 6 is 48, 48 plus 36 is 84, right? So RA plus RB is equal to 84 kilonewton. So we got a equation. Now taking moment about B, so we are supposed to find out this RA and RB, right? So individually, so taking moment about B, that is summation of moment about B is equal to 0. So applying that condition, we have to take all the forces about B. So now this RA is going to reaction force RA is going to travel a distance of 12 meters, that is 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2, right? Totally 12, right? So RA is traveling a distance of 12 meter to reach B, point B. So RA into 12. Since it is clockwise direction, it is positive. We already know that. We have already seen in the previous problem the condition for traveling from left to right. If you want, I will show you. See, this traveling from left to right follows all these conditions. That is, upward force is positive, downward force is negative, clockwise is positive and anti-clockwise is negative. This is what we are going to apply there. Keep it in mind that upward force is positive, downward force is negative, clockwise is positive and anti-clockwise is negative, right? Okay. Now this RA into 12. Next, this force, we are going to convert this force into a point load, right? 8 into 6. That will convert this into a point load and it will act at the center. Center in the sense, right? Here 3 and here 3, right? This point load will act at the center. That is 8 into 6. We are supposed to convert this total 8 into 6 meters. And that will act at the center. Now taking this force about B, that will be 8 into 6 into this 3 plus 2 plus 2, right? That is what I have given here, 3 plus 4. This 3 plus 2 plus 2. So 3 plus 4. So we are converting first as a load, that is 48. Next 3 plus 2 plus 2, that is the distance, right? 8 into 6 into 3 plus 4. Next, this 36. Since this is anti-clockwise direction, this is going to make a anti-clockwise direction. This is negative, right? This is negative. Next, again this 36 is taking about B. So this is also anti-clockwise direction. Distance is 2 meters, right? 36 into 2. Therefore, we have formed the entire equation. Now RA, that is equating it to 0. Since summation of moment about B is equal to 0, that is equating it to 0. Now RA plus 12, taking this entire terms to the right hand side, we will get 8 into 6 into 7 plus 36 into 2. That will result in 408. RA plus 12, RA into 12, 408 divided by 12 will give you 34. Now RA is equal to 34 kilonewton, right? Next, we already know RA plus RB is equal to 84 kilonewton from here. Already we have found out. Now substitute this 34 here. So 34 kilonewton plus RB is equal to 84 kilonewton, and we get RB is equal to 50 kilonewton. So RA is equal to 34 kilonewton and RB is equal to 50 kilonewton. Right? So that is what given here. RA is 34 kilonewton and RB is 50 kilonewton. I hope you understood how we are finding the support reactions RA and RB. Right? Now we will move on to how we are going to find out how we are going to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Right? We will start. Now, finding out the shear force and bending moment diagram. Shear force at A. Shear force at A is plus 34 kilonewton. Why? Upward force is positive. Upward force is positive. Keep that in mind. Traveling from left to right, we should remember the condition. Upward force is positive. So 34 kilonewton. So draw a approximate line denoting it is 34. Before that, as I told you, you are supposed to draw dotted lines from each point, from each junction, right? Dotted line from each junction, and then we are supposed to draw a axis line for shear force and an axis line for bending moment. So this denotes the axis line 0, right? Axis line, central axis line, right? Okay. Now, as I told you, shear force at A is plus 34 because shear force at point A is upward force, that is denoting 34. Right? Now we are going to draw shear force at A is 34. Right? Okay. Now bending moment at A. Bending moment at A, in the previous video itself I told you that at support reactions bending moment will be 0. We have only the force, we don't have the distance. We have only the force, we don't have the distance. The force is acting at that particular point alone. You don't have the distance. Distance is 0. So force into 0 is 0. So bending moment at A is 0. Bending moment at A is 0. Now moving on to the next. Right? So shear force from A to C. Shear force from A to C. Since from this point to this point, from this point to this point, from this point to this point to this point, we don't have any load. This point to this point, we don't have any load. If we don't have any load, no rate of loading. We have already seen the relationship between shear force and bending moment and rate of loading. In that condition 1, do you remember that if we don't have any rate of loading, the shear force should be a straight horizontal line. So initially it is 34, then a horizontal line of 34. We are maintaining that horizontal line continuously because there is no rate of loading here, right? So from A to C it is going to remain as 34. From A to C it is going to remain as 34. Okay, next, finding out the bending moment at C. Bending moment at C. So only one force is there, that is 34 kilonewton. So taking that 34 kilonewton about this point C, So this force is going to make a clockwise rotation, that is 34 into the distance is 2 meters. For this point C, what is the distance? The distance is 2 meters. So 34 into 2, that is what? given here, 34 into 2. So that is 68. So it is 68. Bending moment at point C is 68. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next step. Shear force at D. Shear force at D. Now finding out the shear force at D. This is going to be, take the shear force in the previous step and put it here, right? Because it is going to be summation from the left direction to the right. Left of the beam to right of the beam, we are continuously going to add the shear forces one by one. So you can take the previous step load and put it here, and we have to see for look out for any other force is added upon here. We have a UDL to be added here. We have a UDL to be added to this 34 kilonewton. We have a UDL to be added to this 34 kilonewton, right? So let us take, we have to change that UDL into a normal load. We have to change that UDL into a normal load. For that, what we are supposed to do, multiply this 8 into 8 with 6. That will give you a normal load, right? So 8 kilonewton per meter into 6 meter. So therefore 34 minus 48, that will result in minus 14. So this is your minus 14. But why we are drawing an inclined line, that we are supposed to know. Why we are drawing a inclined line? Again, this goes back to the relationship between the rate of loading, shear force and bending moment. In that, if you are having a UDL load, a constant load, rate of loading is, if the rate of loading is constant, shear force will be a linear straight line. Shear force will be a linear straight line. Linear in the sense inclined straight line. Inclined straight line. So connect this 34 and locate this 14 and connect this 34 and 14, minus 14. Since this is minus, we are supposed to put it bottom of this axis line. This is your axis line. We are supposed to put it bottom of this axis line. So 14, approximate location. You need not draw it to the scale, right? It is your approximate location, right? So 34 and 14 and then connect it. Why inclined line? Again I am telling you that when the rate of loading is constant, shear force should be a inclined straight line. So we have connected 34 and 14, right? Now what is the bending moment at D? Shear force we have found out. We are supposed to find out the bending moment at D, right? Bending moment at D. Okay. Now again this load is going to travel the distance of 8 meter. Where the D is located? D point is located from the left support at what distance? 2 plus 6. So it is 8 meters. So 34 kilonewton into 2 plus 6. So it has to travel a distance of 8 meter. So 34 kilonewton into 8. That is what given here. Since this is clockwise direction, it is positive. Next, this UDL has to travel a distance of D. For that we have to convert this UDL into a point load first. So converting into point load, what we are supposed to do? Change it into, that is multiply into distance. That is 8 kilonewton into 6 meter. That will give you a point load that will act at the center of this entire UDL. Center of this entire UDL. Entire UDL is having a distance of 6 meter. So it will act at the center, means from this end 3 meter and this point 3 meter. That is from the point C it is 3 meter and from the point D it is 3 meter. So this is going to be 3 and this is going to be 3. So this 8 into 6 into 3, right? So this will make a anti-clockwise rotation. So anti-clockwise rotation, so 8 into 6 into 3. So therefore we get a value of 120 kilonewton. If you solve this, 34 into 8 minus 8 into 6 into 3, you will get 128 kilonewton meter, right? Next, shear force from D to E. From D to E, there is no rate of loading. So this 14 is going to remain as a straight horizontal line. Right? So that's why this 14 is going to be the same from D to E. Right? Okay. Now finding the bending moment at E. What we are supposed to do? Take all the forces to the point E. So taking this RA, that is 34 kilonewton, it has to travel a distance of how much? 2 plus 6 plus 2 to reach the point E. So it has to travel a distance of 10 meters. So 34 into 10. So this 34 has to travel a distance of 10 meter to reach this point E. So 34 into 10. So that is what given here, 34 into 10. Again this load, we are going to convert that into a point load, right? 8 into 6. Again that will act at the center. Here 3 and here 3. Now the point load has to travel a distance. How much? It is taking anti-clockwise direction. This load 8 into 6 into the distance 3 plus 2. So it is totally 5. So 8 into 6 into 3 plus 2, 5. So that is what given here. 8 into 6 into 3 plus 2. Why negative? Because it is making an anti-clockwise rotation. So the total value is 100 kilonewton, right? So if you solve that equation, you will get a value of 100 kilonewton. So bending moment at E is 100 kilonewton, right? Now the next step is shear force at E. Finding out the shear force at E. Take this minus 14 and put it here. That is dropping this minus 14 here. We are supposed to see whether there is any load at point E. Yes, we are having a load at point E, that is 36 kilonewton. So what kind of force? Downward force. What is the sign for downward force? When we are traveling from the left direction to the right of the beam, it is negative. So only it is minus 36. So minus 14 already taken from the previous step, minus 14 minus 36, that is minus 50, right? That is minus 50. Okay, right. Now we already know that the bending moment at B is going to be 0. Because support, always the support bending moment is 0. Right? Now only one more step last available, that is shear force from E to B. From E to B there is no rate of loading, right? So shear force, how the shear force should be? It is a horizontal straight line, right? Okay. So if the people who are watching this video for the first time, you are supposed to know how the shear force is horizontal straight line and how the shear force is inclined here, and again why it is a straight line here. these are all the things you are supposed to know, and if you want to know that, you are supposed to look at the video that I have posted earlier under the topic relation between rate of loading, shear force and bending moment. That video will clear out all the doubts, how the shear force is drawn as a straight line, right? Okay. Now for bending moment also, here there is no rate of loading, right? From this point A to point C, there is no rate of loading. For no rate of loading, bending moment should be a linear straight line. Linear straight line in the sense inclined straight line. Inclined straight line, right? Now here the rate of loading is constant, UDL. The rate of loading is constant, where from this point C to point D, the rate of loading is constant. So if the rate of loading is constant, we have already seen that the curve should be a parabolic one. Curve should be a parabolic one. That's why they have drawn a parabola kind of curve here, right? Bending moment should be a parabolic curve. Again, from D to E, there is no rate of loading. So again they have drawn a linear straight line. Linear straight line in the sense inclined straight line. Linear straight line. Again from E to B, there is no rate of loading. Hence they have drawn a again linear straight line, right? If you watch that video that I have posted earlier, the relation between shear force, rate of loading and bending moment, you clearly understand when and where to draw inclined straight line, parabolic line and cubic parabola. So you will be completely clear with that particular thing. Now the shear force and bending moment diagram is drawn completely. Next, what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to find out two major things. One is finding the location of the maximum bending moment, and then finding the magnitude of the maximum bending moment. Finding the location of the maximum bending moment and finding the magnitude of the maximum bending moment. You can see that maximum bending moment occurs exactly at the point where your shear force is changing direction, or you can say as 0. Where your shear force is changing direction from positive to negative, that is the point where your bending moment is going to be maximum, corresponding maximum bending moment, right? This point is called point of contraflexion. That is, where your shear force is going to be 0, this is the point where your shear force is 0, corresponding point in the bending moment will be the maximum bending moment, right? Now we are supposed to know the location of this maximum bending moment. Know the location of this maximum bending moment. Location in the sense, from this point, what is the distance? Either from this point or from here, from left end or right end. What is the distance? Either this distance you can find, or this distance. This or this. It is going to be the same, right? So either this distance from left end or this distance from the right end. Okay? How we can find that? Now we already know the distance, that this is 2 meters and this is 6 meters. So we are going to majorly concentrate on this portion, but the entire distance we know it as 6 meters, but we doesn't know the distance, what is available here and what is available here. So to find out, what we are going to do is, we are using the concept of similar triangles. We are using the concept of similar triangles. So this is going to be one triangle and this is going to be one triangle. So this both are having a same angle, right? Same angle. Similar triangles, right? Same angle. So we are going to use that concept. What I have done is, I have zoomed out that particular similar triangle here, right? So it is having a height of 34. You can see it is 34 and it is 14. It is 14. I am taking this distance to be x. I am taking this distance to be x. If this is x, what is going to be this? What is going to be this? If this is x, this is going to be 6 minus x, because this entire length is 6. This entire length is 6. If this is going to be x, this is going to be 6 minus x. That is simple mathematics, right? Okay. Now, using the concept of similar triangles, what you are going to do is, distance by height, x by 34, again distance by height. Hope you understood. That is the distance by height equal to distance by height. So that is what given here, x by 34 is equal to 6 minus x by 14. By solving this, you will get x to be the value of 4.25. So this x is 4.25. So here it is 4.25. Then what will be this? Subtracting it from 6, you will get the balance value here. That is going to be 1.75. 1.75. Okay? I hope it is clear. Right? So now we found out the location of maximum bending moment. So location of maximum bending moment is going to be 2 plus 4.25. That is 6.25 is the maximum location of the maximum bending moment from the left support. Or you can denote it from the right support also. Right support means 2 plus 2 plus 1.75. So 4 plus 5, 5.75. It is going to be 6.25 from the left support or 5.75 from the right support. Hope it is clear. So from the left support is going to be 6.25 or from the right support is going to be 5.75. Okay. Now we are supposed to find the maximum bending moment. What is the value at this point? What is the value at this point? What is going to be the value at this point? It is simple. What we done earlier, that is, we are going to do the same thing, right? Let us assuming this point to be f. Let us assuming this point to be f, right? We are assuming this point to be f, and we are going to find out the bending moment about f. That's all. We are going to find out the bending moment about f. So 34 is going to travel to the distance of f to this point f. So what will be the distance? That is 2 into 4.2 plus 4.5. So 34 kilonewton is going to travel a distance of 2 plus 4.5, 6.5, right? So 34 kilonewton into 2 plus 4.5. 1. Remaining this UDL. Only up to this we are supposed to consider. Only up to this we are supposed to consider. Only for the distance of 4.5. Only for a distance of 4.5. But this UDL is acting for a length of 6 meter. But we are stopping by this point alone. What is that point? F. By this point alone we are stopping. So we are supposed to consider only this portion. this portion. So this 8 into 4.25, because it is acting for a length of only 4.25. It is not anymore 6 meters. Only if you consider this entire length of 6 meter, you are supposed to multiply this 8 into 6, but we are considering only this length. So what is that length? That length is 4.25. So it is going to be 8 into 4.25. That is going to be acting at the center, right? Center of that particular UDL. Center of that particular UDL in the sense, half of this 4.25 by 2. 4.25 by 2. So therefore, it is going to be 8 into 4.25 into half of this 4.25. Right? The distance is going to be what? This half of the 25. So it is going to be 2.125, here 2.125. So that is what I have written here, 8 into 4.25 into 4.25 by 2. Right? Solving this, you will get 140.25 kilonewton. So the maximum bending moment at this point is 140.25. You can easily check, it has to exceed this value. This is the only maximum value so far available here, 128. It should go beyond that particular 128 value. If you are getting very less than this 128 value, you have gone somewhere wrong with the calculation. But we have got 140.25. Definitely it is greater than 128. So it is the maximum bending moment. So this is how you are supposed to follow the procedure to draw shear force and bending moment for this problem, and finding out the location of the maximum bending moment and also the magnitude of the maximum bending moment. Hope you are clear with the problem. I will come back again with another video with a different kind of problem, mostly with a cantilever beam or a overhanging beam. We have already seen two problems related to the simply supported beam. Different loading condition also. Here we have seen as UDL. I will come with a UVL, uniformly varying load. So in the next video we will come with a different kind of loading and different kind of support also. Right? Thank you.